steel string guitar. It's truly a piece of American history, and in this guitar method, I'm going to teach you how to play this beautiful instrument. And it comes from a long history of guitars, starting back in the Greeks. And rather than going through all of the history of the guitar, you can read that in the instruction manuals. And what I'm going to do is teach you to play this wonderful instrument. First of all, why steel strings? Steel strings project more than nylon strings do. So we use steel strings in order to get a greater level of projection. And nylon strings in the olden days, when guitars first came to be in the mid-1800s, and way prior to that with parlor guitars, they used gut strings, and they weren't quite as a loud voice. This guitar has a loud voice. The guitar that you're going to learn to play in this method is specifically designed, the techniques for the steel strings. Now, the guitar itself, this guitar I'm holding is a dreadnought body. You might be learning on a different style body, but this guitar itself has a dreadnought body, has a loud sound, incredible bass response, and the neck is a standard size steel string neck, and you'll find in classical guitars the necks are wider, steel string guitars the necks are a little bit thinner, and either way you can adapt to play either one. So this method is specifically designed for the steel string guitar. The hand positions and the correct position to hold the instrument, those are our two main focal points right now. So everybody grab your guitar, sit back, and the easiest way to play the steel string guitar is what I'm doing right now. You hold the guitar with your knee elevated, your right knee, and you simply set the guitar on your right knee on a footstool. Now this happens to be a high footstool because I am sitting on a large stool itself. Now you don't have to be obviously sitting on something this high. You can sit on a chair, a comfortable stool, or whatever. But the main thing is to get the guitar up so it's around your shoulder, just below your shoulder area. So when you hold the guitar, you can have a nice easy posture. So get your guitar up on your right knee. That's the first thing. And the guitar is generally held. The neck is a pretty horizontal angle to the body. So in other words, here's the body, and we're at like a 90-degree angle to the body. And so here we have horizontal to the floor, 90-degree angle to the body. All right, so now that's the basic way to play it. Now, if you're going to stand and play the guitar, generally you just take a guitar strap, slide it through the slot right here between the strings and the headstock, around your neck and onto the end pin of the guitar here, and you can stand then and you're playing a guitar like this. The best way, the best place to have it is right approximately the chest area so your hand can come down and easily play. So this is whether you're sitting or standing, this is the location of the guitar itself on your body, on your upper torso. So I'll be sitting, and this is generally when you're playing the guitar at home, you generally are sitting. If you're on stage performing, many times you'll be standing. Use a guitar strap. All right, so now that's the basic position. For playing other instruments, other guitars, there are other positions. This is the best position for the steel string guitar. Now we're going to talk about hand position. Obviously, two hands. Let's talk about the left hand first. When you're playing the guitar, it is very important to assume the proper hand positions. What you don't want to do is have your thumb up here, and a lot of players are doing this today, but they're in the wrong position. And you're very limited in what you're doing when you're in this position with your thumb way over the neck and you're kind of sliding up and down on the strings. The correct way to play the guitar is to get your thumb. Now, if you follow this closely, you'll be able to take it step by step as to what I'm doing. You take your thumb and you place it, hope we can get this on the camera, directly behind the neck. And that is the normal position of the thumb. As it goes up and down the neck, as the notes move, you want your thumb back here. Now, I happen to have very large hands. Once in a while, the thumb will creep up if you're doing a chord, but the general place that thumb wants to stay is behind the neck. So keep that in mind. The second thing you want to always address with the fingers is you want to have the fingers assume a kind of an arch. And you see what I'm doing here with my fingers? The fingers are arched up. Between the thumb and the fingers, you get this little bow in here, this little arch, 90-degree angle, this kind of like a little, if you're looking at a rock formation in a bridge, in other words, you have this little arch happening here. So this is what you want. You want to adapt that. This is the technique that you want to be able to play your chords and notes and have this exact way. You're pressing perpendicular down on the notes. You're attacking the notes from the top rather than this way, flattened out. You want to attack the notes from the top in a perpendicular to the guitar. In other words, you're coming down literally this way on the guitar rather than attacking it this way. So you're coming down 90 degrees right to the fretboard. See what I'm doing? So this is the right hand position for the guitar. Wherever you go, you use this. You won't get into trouble. You won't assume bad habits. And this is the way to play the instrument with your left hand. So keep this in mind. Practice it like this. Once in a while, again, your finger will slide up, but still maintain this arch as much as possible. All right, that's the left hand. Now, the right hand. The right hand, we're doing two techniques. With the steel string guitar, we want to learn to use our fingers and a flat pick as well. So let's talk about the fingers first and how to play the steel string guitar with the fingers. All right, the first thing you do is your thumb is generally assigned to the bass notes. This guitar has 6 strings, and we'll be learning to tune this guitar momentarily, but first, get this thumb where it is, 6, 5, and 4. The fattest string is called the 6th string, 5th string, 4th string, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. All right, so the thumb assumes responsibility for the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings. Very important. So in other words, the thumb will be playing. Okay, then the index, middle, and ring fingers of your hand, generally, they are assigned a little home bass. And the home bass for the index finger is the 3rd string, the home bass for the middle finger is the 2nd string, and the ring finger being the 1st string. So this is kind of like home. This feels like a nice position for the guitar, and this is how you play. Now look at what I'm doing with my right hand, everybody. The thumb and the fingers form another bridge. You have one down here, you have one up here. This little bridge is what your goal is. You don't want to be doing this, you don't want to be doing this, you want to have this lovely little arch. And then if you have that arch, it gives you the freedom and flexibility to move your fingers and to play anything, really. You can play anything, any kind of music this way, and this is the position you want to hold your hand in, just like that. So when you play a chord, which you'll be learning, the thumb is going to hit one of the notes, the finger's the other. I'm doing a little roll technique here that you'll learn. So here you go. You can see what I'm talking about. Now, if you look at the front part of this, you'll find that the hand is not sitting like this. You'll see a lot of people playing incorrectly today, and they have their hand in this formation. Well, it's very difficult to strike a nice clean note that way. What you want to do is turn that hand around so it's, again, coming down 90 degrees to the strings. You see what I'm doing here? That's what it is. So you'll notice as I'm playing that my hand is in this position all the time. Now once in a while when I'm strumming or doing something, you know, we're going to be doing different techniques and it will change a little bit. But for picking notes and playing the guitar properly, this is the hand position. So here we go. Remember the 2 arches, left hand and right hand, and we're forming this big arch and this small arch with the left hand, the large arch with the right hand. And do not do this. See what I just did here? People that pick up the guitar, it's a normal thing just to kind of grab it and start playing like this. Don't do it. It's wrong. You'll get into many bad habits and limit yourself in how you play the guitar in the future. So here's the hand positions. You see what I'm doing. The hand actually comes over the guitar. It rests on the bout of the guitar here. and the hand kind of drops down just this way. If you play like this and assume these hand positions, you'll have no problem playing easy music to advanced techniques. All right, we've now done the positions for the left hand and the right hand fingers. Now, what about the right hand flat pick? The flat pick is the other way that you play the guitar, the other thing you do with your right hand. And so you either strum with the flat pick or you pick individual notes. So right now, here's how you hold the flat pick. Flat pick, whatever style you have, typical little flat pick here, a piece of metal. I use a medium flat pick myself. What you want to do is you want to make the flat pick an extension of your thumb, but going down 90 degrees to your thumbnail. So basically, the way you want to do this is, if you can get a shot of that, is there's the thumb, and that's the normal position of the flat pick. And you put it right on the base of the thumb, and then you take the index finger and generally a 90-degree angle, then you curve it around a little bit so it's comfortable for you. Whatever way is comfortable, just make sure it's sticking down 90 degrees from the thumb. All right, that's the position for the flat pick in relation to your thumb and index finger. Now, when you hit a note with a flat pick, generally you don't keep the flat pick rigid. You flow with the flat pick according to what you're trying to do. So in other words, if you're trying to play a chord with the flat pick, you don't want to stick it like straight up and go. You want to put it at an angle. If you're coming up, a basic technique is to come up gently on the first string. Very basic flat pick technique. It's a down, up. So basically, that's how you strum. You kind of angle the flat pick in the downward fashion, just as I'm doing here, coming up on the first string. That's the basic way to pick. Now, what about notes? Individual notes on the flat pick, you always want to alternate, and you go like this. So basically what we're doing is we're playing a note on the guitar, first string open, let's say, you go down. The next note that you play, you want to try to come up and develop a technique of alternating pick strokes, down, up, down, up, down, up. And when you start to play chords and notes at the same time, you'll be able to play chords intertwined with notes, and that's the other thing you do with the flat pick. You strum individual notes and chords intertwined with notes within the chord. So what I just did there is I strummed and played some notes within the framework of the chords. All right, that's the flat pick technique, and utilize this when you want to make a louder sound. The flat pick is more preferable than fingers if you're playing generally rock and roll. A lot of jazz technique uses flat pick, and certainly country picking you use a flat pick. On more classical things, you use your fingers, Spanish guitar, folk music finger picking. Strum, pick. Your right hand is generally more versatile than the flat pick, but the flat pick has its uses, so always be cognizant of that, and as we go through the method, we will indicate which one to do when. That's the flat pick. Now we're going to discuss the next section, the strings and the frets. Very important on the guitar, there's a grid pattern that's formed by the strings and the frets. And first of all, let's talk about the strings for a moment. There are 6 strings on the guitar, and the strings are named from the lowest, which is the fattest string, to the highest, E, A, D, G, B, E, or 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Always keep in mind that the fattest string is really at the top of the guitar, top meaning the highest up towards your head, the thinnest string being at the base down here, at the bottom of the guitar. All right, now those are the strings, and then the frets are these little spaces between the bars. Normally, these little silver lines going across, these silver lines are called frets, but the real truth is that the space behind the silver line is really what is called the fret. So keep in mind, when I say first fret, first finger, you're going to press a note in this space behind the first fret with your first finger. If I say second fret, second finger, this is the second fret, but it's the space behind the second fret that is talked about when you're playing the guitar. So here's the second fret, second finger on the first string. You see what I mean? And one more example, let's talk about the third string, third fret, third finger. Well, here's the third string in. The third fret is the space behind this little bar. So this is the third fret, the third space that you see. And the third finger of your left hand, you play it right like that. That's the third string, third fret, third finger. So there's a grid pattern formed on the guitar, intertwining the strings and the frets. And so very importantly, we'll be alluding to this all through the guitar method, and in the book that you will receive or that you can purchase, you will have many examples of how to place your fingers on chords and notes within this grid pattern. The grid pattern goes all the way up, but generally at the beginning we're going to only be dealing with the first 4 or 5 frets, this much right here. So that is the strings, those are the frets. And the most important thing about this is the relationship between them, where to place your fingers, and basically it's very simple. Keep in mind, again and again, over and over, there are 6 strings and there are frets that cross them, forming a grid pattern. That's the main thing you want to remember. The strings, again, as I mentioned, are 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, E, A, D, G, B, E, and that's all you have to know about it right now. We're going to go on and learn how to tune the guitar right now. So from this position, the thing you want to be able to do is take your guitar and tune it to my guitar. My guitar is in tune right now, and I want your guitar to be in tune. So this is the easiest way that I can recommend that you tune your guitar. Pick up your guitar. If your guitar is new in a box, you'll have to tune the strings up and take some of that slackness out of the string. So you immediately start tuning up. As soon as you get the guitar to somewhere where the strings are not just loose on the guitar, tighten these tuning heads or machine heads up to where you have no slack on the guitar face, on the guitar strings. All right, the game plan here, folks, is to match my tone. You want to match the tone that I'm doing on my guitar to your guitar. And this is the simplest and quickest, most efficient way that you can tune your guitar right now without having to use a tuning fork or a pitch pipe. Tune to me. All right, so bring your 6th string up to this tone. Everybody listen and do just what I do. Now your goal is to tune this machine head or tuning head and make the string that on your guitar sound like this. Now I'm going to do this 5 times on each string, and if it's not enough for you, rewind or scroll back with your DVD and do it again. Go over this section until you can get your guitar in tune. Come back to this section repeatedly, and whenever you want to tune your guitar, and it makes it very easy for you right now as a beginner. Tune your string till it sounds like that. That's the 6th string or the E string. It's kind of interesting to hear the string moving up, and that was the 5th time. Now your E string should be somewhat close to that. All right, now if you have to go back, go back. I'm only going to do each one 5 times. Now we're going to go to the A string. So first thing you do, start turning the A string till the slack is gone. Begin tuning the A string or 5th string up to this pitch. You might have to turn it quite a way. Do not go over Do not get higher than this. Only go up to this pitch. You'll hear it kind of coming up gradually, and you want to tune your 5th string. This is the tuning machine key in the middle to this tone. And one more time. This is the A string or 5th string. Now you're tuning this one. Bring it up. If you have to rewind, do it. We're going on to the 4th string now. The 4th string is called the D string. I want you to take the slack out of the string first, begin tuning it up, and match it to this tone. That's the one right on the end here. You'll be tuning this machine head this way, tuning it up to D. And one more. It should be about there now. Now those are the bass strings. Let's check them one time so you can fine tune it a little bit. Here's the 6th string again. Fine tune it. Get that 6th string sounding like that. Now we'll go to the A string, the 5th string, and the D string, the 4th string. Alright, now we're moving on to the 3rd string. Get the slack out of the 3rd string. Begin to tune up the 3rd string till it sounds like this. That's the 3rd string, or G. Bring it all the way up to there. Now we're going to have to go a little further now. These strings are thinner, and it's going to take a lot more turns on the machine heads. We're moving up to the 3rd string, as I said. This is the 3rd string, or G. Tune this one here on the end, like this. Alright. You should have the G close to being in tune. Now we're going to go to the 2nd string, or B, 5 times. That's the one in the middle. Get the slack out, tune this one up until it sounds like this. You'll be tuning the machine head like this. Make that sound. Okay, that should be B. You should be close. And the 1st string, or E, is the last string we're tuning. And bring the slack out, tune it up, get that laxity out of the string, and here we go. Bring it up to tone. Match your tone to mine. It's the very first one now, the E string. Now go back to the 3rd string. We doubled on the, we fine-tuned the bass. Let's fine-tune the treble. So we're going to go into the 3rd string again. Go down there, match your 3rd string up with this tone. And we're moving to the 2nd string, or B. 1st string, or E. One last time now, all the strings once. Okay, we're going to start at the 6th string now, one time. Let's get this guitar in tune here. Make it sound like that. 5th string. 4th string. 3rd string. 2nd string. 1st string. Now your guitar is in tune. If it isn't, rewind, go back, and do it again until the guitar sounds like this. just tuning your guitar. All right, we're now going to begin some techniques on how to play the guitar, actually placing your fingers on the frets. This is called the chromatic scale. A chromatic scale you can play with your fingers or a pick. Let's use the pick right now. Get your flat pick, hold it properly, and here's how you do the chromatic scale. First string open, first string first fret with the first finger, first string second fret second finger, third fret, fourth fret. So here we go. Now, you got that much. What we're going to do now is take the first finger and put it on the fifth fret, do the same thing. Watch. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Down, up, down. And I'm alternating picking strokes every time. So what I just did is I went 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. And now what we want to do is the same thing, and we're going to take the first finger, we're going to put it on this fret right here, after the little fourth fret. All right, so basically this is the ninth fret we're going to. So here we go, watch. And that's a good place to stop right now. And then we're going to retrace our steps in a moment. But let's do that again. Play this right along with me, down, up strokes. If you can't do down, up strokes at the beginning, do all down strokes, but quickly learn to adapt and do down, up. You're going to need to do that if you want to get good on the guitar. So here we go again. So I'm going to slow that down, go real slow once. Play with me. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. All right, now what we want to do is descend. The tricky part about descending is we want to place all four fingers on the strings as we descend, but place them together, not one at a time. This takes practice, and you need to learn it. Here's how you do it. All four. All four. Do you see that? Well, here we go now. We're going to descend again. Go with me, descend with me. Now take your time and replace all four fingers at once. Take your time, all four fingers. The game plan here is you take your flat pick, alternate strokes, up and down on the first string, nice and smoothly. That's what you want to be able to do. And do it on all the strings. Etc. So we do all the strings like that, up and down. You want to practice this at least 10 minutes a day, the chromatic scale with the flat pick. Now, putting the flat pick down, you can use your fingers and do the same thing. And this time, what you want to do is you want to alternate your index and middle fingers and just pick the notes. 1, 2. All I'm doing is taking you don't need nails for this. If you want to have nails, you can grow nails if you wish. It gives you a little clearer tone. Plenty of guitar players don't use their nails at all. They have no nails. And you can, if you don't have nails, you can always get finger picks if you want them. But I prefer nail because I do a lot of classical playing. And that's up to you individually, what your preference is. But again, the same technique is the chromatic scale, either with the fingers or a flat pick, which I just went over. All right, now that's the chromatic scale. You want to do it at least 10 minutes a day, up and down, all the strings. Now, moving on, very important is the right hand technique. I want to show you a couple things with your right hand that you want to be able to practice. Now, you haven't learned any chords yet. You're going to learn those in a moment. But right now, here's one of the techniques for the right hand. I want you to be able to use your right hand, get into this arch, remember the arch that we discussed, and do some picking. Nice, gentle arpeggios. Start with the sixth string on the with the thumb, pluck that, and go to home base. Remember I told you the third string, the index finger always has third string as home. So call that, and then the second string is the middle finger with home. That's the home base. The first string is the ring finger. So these three fingers kind of sit in their home base, and you pluck the sixth, third, second, first. Pluck the strings. Practice doing that. Give your right hand a little opportunity to acclimate itself to playing the guitar. Stay in this position. You see what my hand is doing? Do exactly that. Exactly the same thing. Okay, that's the right hand position. So a nice exercise you can do that way. And what I want you to do, if you can, is come back. So we're going like this. Come right back with the second finger and the first finger. So it sounds like this. Complete the arpeggio. And these are things you can practice in the quiet of your own home, in leisure time. Sit there and just do this until this flows. That's right hand technique. We're going to move right along into some chords. We're going to play a couple chords. The first chord that you're going to learn, and you can adapt the right hand technique that I just did, is the first chord that we're going to learn is E major. Now, playing chords on the guitar is a very interesting thing. You have to develop calluses on the tips of your fingers. And the best way to do that is just to play the chords over and over. If they hurt a little bit at the beginning, that's because calluses are being developed. After you play for about a week or 10 days, you'll develop a little callus and you'll have pain-free playing. And that's a good thing. So we want to always begin with the E major chord. And here's how you play the E major chord. You take the first finger and you place it on the neck of the guitar. You're going to give that old arch thing. Remember I told you, thumb behind, first finger, second finger, third finger. Here's where you put them. The first finger is placed on the third string first fret. The second finger is placed on the fifth string second fret. And the third finger is placed on the fourth string second fret. All right, that's the grid pattern I was talking about. You put all three fingers, you press down, take your thumb, strum. Make the tone clean and clear. You don't want to hear this. That's because you're not pressing the string hard enough into the fingerboard. Press it. You get this. Beautiful. Now take that E major chord and adapt the little stroke I just told you before, the arpeggio, and hold that E major chord down and do this. Making music, it's beautiful. It's an E major chord with an arpeggio. Practice this until you can play along with me. If your guitar isn't in tune, stop this section and go back and retune your guitar until it's in tune and you can make your guitar sound like this with me. This is not difficult. Anybody can do this. That's the E major chord with an arpeggio. Now, this next chord we want to learn to play is we want to do the A minor chord. And the A minor chord is just like the E major chord. The only difference is we're moving it down another string, or up another string rather. Up is a better word for it rather than down. Here's the way you play the A minor chord. Second string, first fret with the first finger. The fourth string, second fret with the second finger, and the third string, second fret with the third finger. That's the A minor chord. Strum it with your thumb. Beautiful. Do the same technique, this time with the thumb playing the fifth string for the bass, and use the same other fingers on 3, 2, 1. practice this until you can play it with me like this. It might take you a little while, but you'll be able to do it in about 10-15 minutes if you just practice it diligently. All right, now, your game plan right now is to take this E major chord and take that A minor chord and play what I just showed you on each one. So watch. This is your goal. Is you want to play the E major chord 4 times. Now switch it to the A minor chord. Back to E major. You're making beautiful music here. And going to A minor. The trick is changing the chord. You must just slowly practice moving those fingers back and forth until you can do it in time. There's no secret to it, just practice. You have to practice about half an hour, 45 minutes a day. Give yourself a little time. It's very relaxing. You might be in a little pain at the beginning because of your fingers not having calluses, but in a short while, you'll be fine, and you'll be loving the guitar. All right, now we're beginning a first song, Malagueña. I call this Malagueña Rumba. It's the basic Malagueña, Spanish, beautiful song. And we're going to play this song with our fingers and with the flat pick, both. We're going to do both. So let's do the fingers first, and then we'll do the flat pick. I'm going to go slowly. You're going to hold an E major chord and just listen to what I say. And when you have to rewind, simply rewind and do it again until you can get this. The result is beautiful. We're starting with an E major chord. Listen closely to what I say because I'm going to go through pretty quickly. We're going to hit the 4th string, 2nd fret, or the 4th string with the thumb. That's the first note. And then we're going to take the index finger and hit the 1st string. So the technique on this song is the thumb is going to play one note. The index finger is always going to come back and play the 1st string. Ultimately, the index and middle fingers will alternate. Don't even try that now. Just use the index finger on the 1st string every time in between each thumb note that I hit. All right, so here's how it goes. We're going to play the 4th string, the 3rd string, and the 2nd string. Twice in a row. 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. That's the first 6 notes of Malagueña. Really, there are 12 notes in there because I'm comping on the 1st string, but the melody notes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In between each one is the 1st string. All right, now we're switching to the A minor chord. Remember, I told you the A minor chord a little bit ago. So on the A minor chord, the 1st string you play is the 3rd string. Then you're going to play the 2nd string. Remember, in between each one, put the index finger comping the 1st string coming up. So on the A minor chord thus far, we've just played the 3rd string, 2nd string. Now, you take the 2nd string, this finger off, and you're going to play the 2nd string open. So in A minor so far, we played the 3rd string, 2nd string, 2nd string, open. Okay, now we're going to play the 3rd string again. And we're going to play the 3rd string open. And then we're going to take that same 3rd finger that just played there, and we're going to put it on the 4th string, 3rd fret. You actually have to play an altered note here out of the chord. And so you're going to play that F note with the 4th string, 3rd fret, 3rd finger. So I'm going to do A minor again. Here's how the A minor goes. Watch really closely. 3rd string, 2nd string, 2nd string open, 3rd string, 3rd string open, 4th string, 3rd fret, and then you take that finger and you slide it down into the E major chord again. And you're back home on the E major, which is the 1st chord you started with. All right. So now we're going to play that whole section one more time, starting with the E major, going to the A minor, back to the E major. Here's how we do it. Slowly, 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4, 3, 2, A minor, 3, 2, 2 open, 3, 3 open. Remember, 4th string, 3rd fret, reach, slide down into E major again, and it just revolves around. Make it sound just like that. I'm going to do it a few more times. I want you to bring yourself up to speed, then come back to this section and play it with me. Here we go. Do the same thing with a flat pick. It's important to be versatile, to be a versatile guitar player. And when you're using the flat pick on this, it's the same exact thing. The only difference is you don't have your thumb and your index finger. You have one piece of plastic doing everything. So you're going to hit the same thing. You're going to go down with the flat pick, coming up on the 1st string. So you're going to do the same exact movement. So whether it be flat pick or fingers, that's the beginning, the first section of Malagueña. Now, what I want to tell you is there's a beautiful thing you can do to begin to develop the tremolo, and you might as well start this now. You do the same thing. You can't use the flat pick for this technique, but what you do is you do the same exact thing with the thumb. The thumb is playing the same notes. The only difference is, instead of playing that 1st finger on the index finger on the 1st string, what you do instead is you take your ring, middle, and index fingers, and you're just going to touch the 1st string with them coming up after every thumb note. So watch. And as you progress, it'll get faster. Keep it even. Faster, it sounds great when you really play it up to speed, which is like this. You'll learn to strum later with your fingers, but right now you can begin to learn to play that tremolo by just playing over and over till you get used to that beautiful technique that's so lovely that you can adapt to many songs in many different ways. So that's Malagueña with the flat pick, with the fingers, and then with the tremolo. All right, now you can play Malagueña. Learn to play this flowing and smoothly. Play it, just think of like a breeze. Just plays beautifully. Now, practice that every day and use the flat pick and the fingers to develop both techniques. Now we're going to learn Greensleeves, a beautiful old song from England that America has adopted in its formative years, and a beautiful song indeed. Let's begin with Greensleeves. Greensleeves, we're going to be using the pick and the fingers on this. We'll start with the fingers, and then you can adapt the pick easily. It's good to practice both ways. Greensleeves is a beautiful little song that sounds like this. So we're going to learn that much of Greensleeves right now. Basically, again, 2 chords plus a 3rd chord, which is G major. We're going to learn that as well. So let's do the G major out of the way now. The G major chord you play very simply by taking your first finger. You take your first finger, place it on the 5th string, 2nd fret. You take your 2nd finger, place it on the 6th string, 3rd fret. Take your 3rd finger, place it on the 1st string, 3rd fret. All right, so now that's G. You have to get your thumb behind there, press it down, and then here's the other way. You have to take that 3rd finger, move it off of that one, place it on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. It's a G altered chord where you're playing the D note on top, and when you play that, it's like this. You only play up to the 2nd string. You don't play the 1st string on a G with a D note on it. All right, so here's how you play Greensleeves. One step at a time, go slow, watch me, come back, rewind, do it again. All right, we're going to start in the A minor chord. You're going to pluck the 3rd string, 2nd fret. It's right in there, part of the chord. Pluck it with your index finger. Remember I told you, index finger's home, 3rd string. Good. 2nd thing, 5th string with your thumb, and then you roll the 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. This time, your fingers found a new home, didn't they? What we've done is we've come down 1 string, so that now your fingers are playing instead of 1, 2, and 3 on a roll, which is not the melody for Greensleeves. We now move them down, and we play the melody, which is the C note, which is the 2nd string, 1st fret. That's the melody. You want to play the notes below. So the first note we play, 2nd chord is that. So that's the first 2 notes of Greensleeves. Good. Now, the third thing we play in Greensleeves is you take your 4th finger, which is just kind of sitting there, and you want to press it on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and play that note by itself. So here we go so far. The 3 notes so far, the 3 things we've done in Greensleeves. Note, chord, note. Now we're going to do a chord again. We're going to play A minor, the same chord, open. This time, the fingers, like we said before, do stay in their home, and you play 6, and you play 5, 3, 2, and 1. 5th string, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So thus far in Greensleeves, 4 motifs. First one, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Together. Good. Get that part down. Then we move on, and we play an altered note. You take your 1st finger and you press the 1st string, 1st fret by itself, and then you press and you play the 1st string open. So, thus far, beautiful. Everybody get that? Now we're going to go to the G chord, but this was G with a D on top. Remember what I said? G chord, just like that. 5th string, 2nd fret, 6th string, 3rd fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret. Place your fingers on the 6th string, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. New homes for the index, middle, and ring fingers. And we're playing 6, 4, 3, 2. Okay, up to there from A minor. Again from the top. One more time. Try to play with me. You won't be able to play it this quickly at the beginning. You can stop the DVD and practice for a moment, and then come and play with me. Good. Now, we're going to play 2 more notes. Take your finger off of the 2nd string and play that open. So thus far we have to play a chord again. This time, the fingers are going to really lose their homes. You're going to play the 6th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd. So we're going to pluck the 6th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd in the G chord, just like that, from the top. Good. Get up to there. Now we play 2 notes individually. You take your first finger, remove it from the G chord, play an open, you play a string, the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and then an open string, the B string, as I mentioned. So you're going to play 3rd string, 2nd fret, 2nd string open. Follow me from the top. Just like that. One more time. Now we're going back to A minor. And you're going to play the 5th string, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings, rolling, 5th on the thumb. Okay, from there, from the top now. Good. Then all you do is you pluck in the A minor chord the 3rd string. And then you pluck the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings. This time only with your thumb, index, and middle fingers. So thus far from the top. Now we're almost finished. What we're going to do now is take your 3rd finger off of the A minor chord and take the 1st finger and play 3rd string, 1st fret. And come back on and play the 3rd string, 2nd fret. From the top now. Okay, and then we go to E major, and you play the 6th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. Then you pluck the 3rd string, 1st fret, you're holding it down. And then you pluck the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings with the thumb, index, and middle finger. That's the whole song. Play it with me. One more time. It's beautiful. You take your time, you practice it, and play with me. One more last. And that's Greensleeves. All right, now we just did Greensleeves with our fingers. Let's play it with the flat pick. You have to go through, rewind it to where I did my fingers, and the only difference is we're going to play the flat pick in place of the ring, index, and middle fingers. So instead of plucking up, we're going to be playing down. So here's how Greensleeves goes with this. Follow the same fingerings.